your boy Neebs, aka Watch with Neebs, and I'm here with Christina. Welcome back, Christina. How are you?
I'm all right, living.
All right, we're so happy to have you back, man. We got to wrap up Love Is Blind, man. This has been probably the worst season I think that they've had. It's been like meh. Like I don't like any of the contestants. I don't care about any of the love stories. I think they're all problematic. I think they're all a little toxic. There was nobody I was really rooting for. And then there's so much controversy from this season where like people are getting sued, people are getting sexually assaulted. It is insane.
hmm
People were claiming they were kidnapped and kept there without food. Uh, this season has been a shit show. Christina, what are your thoughts?
It's funny because before I started watching the season, I said to Dome, my husband, I was like, I heard the season's a mess. And
Yeah.
like it's even more of a mess than I could have possibly imagined. It was a mess, and it was also so fucking hard to watch. Like so hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone commented,
Love is
love is
complicated.
complicated. Yeah, Brown Boy Wonder. You're totally right. This was a hella of a season and it was really hard for me to get into it. I'm kind of glad it had less episodes than the normal season because I was like, yo, let's just get this over with. I was kind of done with this. I don't even know if next season is going to do well. I don't think anybody has gotten a lot of followers or anything like that from it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's kind
that's
of
the
how it.
other thing. I feel like a lot of the people who did it for clout in some way, shape, or form. Like,
Yeah,
all these other couples have gotten so much out of it from
yeah,
past seasons that they were like this season. Clearly, I felt like you could tell in certain people that they were just like, I'm here to be seen and to be known.
yeah. Like I totally agree with you because like in the first three, I would say, seasons, there's always like these like wild characters, and they're very problematic, and they're very like, in a way, almost like cartoonish, right? And they get a lot of followers, and then there's the victims who get like treated awfully by these people, and they
Who
get a lot
also
of
get a lot of
followers,
followers. Yeah.
right? So the villains get a lot of followers, the victims get a lot of followers, and then the people with the actual good love story get a lot of followers. This season had none of that, and I don't think anyone got a significant amount of followers on there, and I don't think it was worth it, for a lot of these people, especially, some of these people who, you know, uh, have a reputation now, and people got to see them
hmm
gaslight people in real time. It's scary.
It
There's
was like
nothing.
watching. It's like it was like watching high school, but like for 20 and 30 somethings, and I was just like, this is gross.
Yeah, it really triggers, me when I watch somebody just gaslighting somebody in real time. It's so scary, and even when they do it for fun, like there's this game that we brown people play. I don't know if other people play it too, but it's called Mafia, and
Oh yeah.
basically, yeah. So you guys know
Like,
it too. Okay, all right. I thought it's a brown thing because I always played with brown people. I've never played it with white people, so I just assumed it was a brown thing. It may
white
not
people
be.
taught it to me actually. So
Oh, did they?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I forgot to explain why Jazz isn't here. Oh my God, I am such a bad host. I am such a bad friend. Jazz is not here in today's episode because Jazz is a new uncle. He just had, what you call it? Oh my God,
It's just
his sister just had a kid, and he is a new uncle, so he is in Dallas and he is hanging out with the baby and spending some uncle time and trying to, gaslight her into thinking that he's her favorite uncle, which is what you gotta do. All
that's
uncles
how it
gotta do
works.
it. That's how it works. You gotta get them. You gotta get them when they're young. I have to compete with like two other uncles, so I'm always like spending extra time with my nieces and buying them gifts. Like I don't give them gifts, I take them to stores and have them pick out a gift. So there's a memory created with that. See,
It's like
I'm
a whole like episode in their brain, right? Like,
yeah, it's a whole episode in
they're
their
going
brain, man.
somewhere, you're getting them things. Maybe you get them a snack that they you don't usually have.
Yes. Yes. Oh, what's that word? A core memory. That's what they're called. Core memories from Inside
Yeah.
Out. So like where the other uncles, they live far away, so they'll just mail something, and like I'll tell my niece like the mailman gave it to you. It wasn't from your uncle.
That's so mean.
It's from the mailman.
It's so mean. I'm the only
Uh,
aunt, so it's just me and then a nephew and two nieces. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Um, where was I before I went onto the tangent? We
Mafia.
were talking about Mafia. Yes. So, when you play Mafia, you have to convince other people you're not lying or you're not the murderer, you're not the villain. And I've seen people play, and I've seen them like gaslight other people, and I'm just like, yo, you're a little too good at that. You're a little too good at that, and that scares the crap out of me.
It's like their
I'm just like,
alter ego, except for in this show, like in this season, it was like all of their actual egos. It was like,
I know,
yeah.
I know. There was really nobody to root for. Um, but let's break it down. Let's go into the finale, which everyone's wedding dresses looked nice. Everyone looked really super. But unfortunately, only one pair said yes, and that was Milton and Lydia. Did you think Milton and Lydia were gonna make it?
Um, no. I thought no. I thought you. I mean, you obviously knew that Lydia was going to say yes. Like she was in it for her husband. Period. Like it didn't matter if she
Lydia
actually,
came on the show with a mission. She was leaving with the fiance. She was getting married.
for sure. But like Milton, just to me seems so like analytical and kind of like just like kind of down the middle. Really, you couldn't read him. I wouldn't say he was unsure. You definitely couldn't read him, especially the way that he like talked to his family and just like his reactions to things with Lydia and around surrounding Lydia. I was just like, I don't know, like this is a lot to think about. So him saying yes was a kind of a surprise.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely a surprise. He's somebody that I feel like kept his feelings close to the chest. Like he was like, all right, he's like analyzing things and trying to see like what's the best outcome for this, but he didn't want to share it with too many people because he wasn't sure. He was still developing. He was gathering more data as we go along. I think he was gathering data till the end.
Yeah, and I also feel like that was like I wouldn't say he had a split personality because that's like an actual disorder, but like he definitely had two parts to who he was. There was the external kind of goofy, aloof, like make you think I'm this superficial kind of like not paying attention person, and then there's like the person that I guess Lydia saw and that he used to help make him his decision at the altar.
Yeah, yeah. I, I Lydia feels like somebody who in a relationship would just like steamroll the guy, but Milton pushes back. He doesn't let her
Yeah,
steamroll, which I think like works out well for them. I
yeah,
think that's a good mix.
yeah.
Someone said, should Will Smith and Jada be on the next season of Love Is Blind?
I mean,
Listen, the show is called Love Is Blind, not Love Is Dumb.
her love is dramatic for no reason.
I know they're having a new. She's coming out with a new book or something, I
She
believe, and
did come out with a new book, yes.
that's wild. That's like everything I know about them is against my will.
Um, Speaking of Will and Jada, Will Smith posted a like official comment video today on
Yeah,
social media, and he literally just sneezed. Like all he did was sneeze, and I was like, oh, well, that says a lot.
weird. I don't know. I
He's
I I
it's
know
like
there's a J Cole song where he goes like the Jada and that will love, and now he doesn't sing that part. He leaves it out. Like you go to his concert, he will actually like not sing that part. It's so funny.
smart for him though. Smart for him. Disassociate in any way possible.
Yeah, he like this no longer these lyrics no longer apply, which I thought was pretty funny. All right, so Milton and Lydia are married. They get together. The family's happy. Then we get Stacy and Izzy, who Izzy's real name is Ishmael. I had no idea. I really just thought his name was
I
Izzy
mean,
the
it
whole
makes
time.
sense. His family was what are they? Jehovah's
Jehovah's
Witnesses.
Witness.
Yeah, so like biblical. Totally get it.
Yeah, yeah, totally get it. Makes total sense. Yeah, yeah. And he had a falling out with that too, so maybe that's why he goes by Izzy. So maybe, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they had a very strange thing. So basically, he says, "Yes, I do," and then she goes, "I want to say I do, but nah. And then she's like, but I still like you. And then they kiss and they act like everything is all good and like whatever. And then people cheer for them as they leave. Hella awkward. And then he talks to his mom for a little bit, and then he talks to Stacy, and they're not good. They're not happy. They kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like there was something missing in the editing, but there was a big shift between their kiss at the altar and then him saying no, he doesn't want to be with her. And as she leaves, he goes, "That's why you're 33 and not married." Like I was just like, "Damn."
I'm still go for the same 45-year-old. So like Izzy. Oh, Izzy. So first off, I just want to point out that Izzy had said multiple times during the season that it took him a while to process his feelings. So
Hmm.
like to me, knowing that and having him be like, "It's okay. I support you. Let's make out at the altar and give everybody what they're here for." And then like the switch to him being petty and
Yeah.
angry, like, totally made sense to me. Was it warranted? Maybe. I mean, like, when I saw Stacey first on the screen, I was like, "Oh, she's totally not gonna say yes,"
Yeah.
because she had a different, like, jean jacket. She didn't have the Miss Zapata, jacket on. She
Mm.
had a jacket that said bride, which apparently Netflix gave to all of the
Yeah.
brides. But anyways, she had the bride jacket, and I was like, bro, that's a straight no. Like to me, that was like the giveaway. Um, but anyways, so like I kind of knew that she was gonna say no, and then her saying no in the way that she did implied that they were supposed to stay together, or like she wanted more time with him, essentially, because that's what she said they needed. Um, and I mean, Izzy was mad, and then he didn't give them more time. So it kind of made sense. I think Izzy was also like, Izzy and Stacey, if they had gotten married, would have made the perfect pair because they're both petty as shit and they're both like little mean girls in two different bodies. Like it's just, yeah, they're gross.
They they
They're
they
gross,
definitely
ultimately. That's my
they
final verdict on them.
no, they definitely are a bunch of mean girls, as we see how they treated Johnny. So totally get that. Yeah, and then he did also mention like that's why you go for 45-year-old guys with money, and he's like, I don't think my credit was that big of an issue. I don't know, it's kind of sketchy the way he was hiding it, but also I feel like that's just an excuse that she is grabbing onto. It is very strange that he told other people in the pods about his. He was very honest with them, and then with her, he wasn't. He was just like, well, it never came up, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it came up a few times, or you could have had an opportunity to say about it a few times.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
I
kind
mean,
of
just
kind of strange.
in Izzy's own words, but about Johnny, sketchy, sketchy, sketchy.
Yeah, he's sketchy himself, bro. He's sketchy
Yep.
himself. All right, now let's talk about the reunion. So the reunion is going on, and there's a lot of fun stuff happening. I don't know if I would call it fun, but I also feel like someone told Vanessa Lachey to chill out a little bit, and she was a little bit more chill than the last season, where she's like, "You having babies yet? Are there going to be
One of the
babies?"
babies. I mean, but also like there's only one couple, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That's true. That's true. So she did take a little bit of a seat back on this one, which I thought was pretty funny. So Milton and Lydia are still married, so good for them. Happy couple. That was interesting, and they actually had a second wedding in PR, which makes me feel like,
yeah,
oh shit, this was real. Like she took him back home to the homeland. When you take
yeah,
somebody back to the homeland and do a wedding, like that's legit.
yeah,
That's legit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, also, but then for me, I was just like, is it for show too? Right? Like, you got to put you got to put on a show for your people in your homeland. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know. I'm still skeptical about it because um, I literally saw an article or something that said that Lydia and Milton are currently living in two different places. So
Oh no! Already? All right.
apparently
Well,
he got a job in California and she's still in Texas. So they've been doing long distance. But I'm just like, okay, that's like another tally in the like, I don't know if this is really real column.
that sounds a little fake to me because he was talking about how like in his job he used to just like work all the time 24/7, and now he looks forward to coming home and being with his wife. So you're telling me
Hmm.
you've had that revelation, and then you decided to take a job in California where you don't see your wife anymore.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Sounds a little
That's what I'm saying.
weird.
Chalk it up.
Yeah, yeah. But they were talking about how their family is getting along a lot more. They're like, Lydia has made their family more emotional, and she's very close with their mom. Now, for me, is that like, is she really close with their mom, or is she doing the same thing she did to Aaliyah and just like slither her way into a friendship or something like that for her own reasons? I don't know. Like, she is somebody who I'm just like, she becomes friends with people really quickly, but like, are her motives all like genuine?
Yeah, that is a really good question, and one I'm not going to speculate on because I mean, we're only hearing Lydia's side of the story,
That is
period.
true. That is true.
And I don't know if I believe that in the first place. So,
Yeah. All right. Let's see. And then Stacy talks about how she tried to make things work after the uh proposal, and basically what she said is she wanted to start over. And Izzy was like, "No, let's not start over. Let's just go back to being engaged and get married soon, and like once we know." And I don't know what the difference is. Like, well, like, I mean, like, what's the difference between starting over and starting as still engaged? Like, you still know each other for the same amount of time.
yeah. And also, like, Izzy said this in his like testimonial during the finale episode. Like, how long is that time going to be? Right. Like, what does that
That's
time look
fair.
like for her? And so, like, it makes sense that he was just like, no, it doesn't make sense what he said after that. But, like, it makes sense that he was just like, "No, I don't wanna start over. We already have a relationship." But then again, how long is long enough for you? And, like, what does that look like for us? And we've
Yeah.
already made it to this plateau or, like, this level in our relationship. Like, why would we downgrade? Because then that's to me, as someone who's been in all of those positions, like dating,
Yeah.
fiance, and otherwise, like, that only puts you in a precarious situation relationship-wise.
Yeah, I guess like I see it very differently because I'm brown, so we go straight to engagement to marriage. Like, we don't do dating that much. Like Muslim people, like at least, like we're very quick with that. So I guess that's a pretty important perspective. But he does say he didn't talk to her for a year after that happened. Damn, that is very.
And the only reason they talked to each other was because her family saw him at a bar that they were both at, and her family had that like basically started up the conversation again. So
Yeah, and then like he came up to her at the bar and he hugged her like nothing happened, and I was like, well, she reached out to you when your dad passed away and you ignored the text. So like there's definitely some harboring of like
he
feelings
said
there.
he was mad, right? Like he said he was mad. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to him being mad, which like I get people hold on to grudges and mad feelings
Yeah,
for a long time.
yeah, yeah. We got some comment saying long distance is always tough. That's very true.
Hmm.
And starting new means being strangers again. That's tough. Being strangers again is somebody that you used to know, like one of those situations. For sure. All right, yeah. So apparently they have a great friendship now. So they're very, very good friends. They're homies. And at one point they were both out and had dates, and they both decided to do a cooking class, and they both ended up at a cooking class with their dates and got put into a foursome, which is pretty funny.
That's so wild. But also, like, that's how small the world is, right? Like, you run into people you know, especially if you're in the same city.
Yeah, they said that over and over again. The bars in Chicago are very small. Like, you'll run into people over and over again, which is very, very interesting. Speaking of bars in Chicago, we find out that Chris cheated on Johnny. Like, what the hell? So, this guy was like the nicest guy. Like, legit, like America thought he was a hero the way he was standing up for Johnny. He was like so like such a stand-up guy. Like, literally a stand-up guy standing up for her. But apparently after that barbecue, he ghosted her, and then she found out from a friend that he was with somebody else. So basically he was just ghosted her and then cheated on her. And he just like had no excuse. He goes, "Yeah, I did that. My bad." I was
I mean,
like,
at least he admitted it, right? Like, at least he admitted it. And he also admitted that he had a hard time, like, he has a hard time confronting people about difficult conversations. I get it. Like, conflict avoidance is a real thing. But I mean, dude, getting ghosted, especially when you think you're in a relationship,
"Ooh."
sucks. Like, I kind of feel bad for Johnny, but I'm also like, karma.
Yeah. Oh man, that was pretty crazy. Um, and then we find out that Johnny had actually tried to date Izzy, and I'm just like, wait, Izzy, after all the shit you said about her, all that shit talking, you guys try
They
to
made
do
out at a
something,
bar.
They- and then in his Jeep.
Yeah, none in his Jeep. While Stacy and Chris were in the same bar, or at least Stacy was in the same bar. I was just like, wow, like messy is just not a word that capitulates everything that has happened.
Yeah, it might me not to go to bars in Houston. Like that's
Yeah.
just fucking crazy. Oh man, I didn't know Houston is so like uh I don't know, incestual where everybody knows everybody. It's kind of crazy.
I've only been to Houston once, and it was for work. And
Yeah,
I mean, everyone was at the same bar that I worked with. So that's the only perspective I have.
Jersey's not like that. Jersey is like so different. Like it's it. I have met people in New York, and I'm just like, oh, cool, man. I'm so glad to meet you, man. You're so cool. And it turns out they're from Jersey, and they live like right like 2 blocks away from me, and I'm just like, what? So it's so funny. Legit, I have probably have like 10 friends I've met in New York who happen to be from Jersey, and I had no idea.
That's wild.
So yeah, Jersey is very different like that. Uh, Jersey is a very no new friends kind of thing. Like the friends you
Oh,
have
I
in
mean,
like
I grew up
college.
in Jersey, so I totally get the no new friends situation. But I
Yeah,
also like didn't really spend a lot of time in New York when I could drink, so I don't really know what the bar scene is like there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would, yeah. I remember when a lot of my friends who just finished college, they would go to bars all the time, and I would be the designated driver. So I've been to a few, and it was definitely a scene. But you never meet like the same people over and over again. It was kind of weird. So I don't know. All right, let's now talk about Alia. She came on guns a blazing a little bit, um, and she said that she tried dating Uche after the show,
Mm-hmm.
which was surprising. And she heard from other people, other producers and castmates, that he was saying that she's just not his type. She is not physically somebody he would go for in the real world. Damn.
Uchi's a
Damn.
douchebag.
He is. He comes off so like tries to be so analytical and stuff like that, but he's really just condescending. Is
He's
pretty weird.
condescending. He is dramatic. Like he is
Yeah.
the definition of like boy drama, or fuck boy. Definitely fuck boy. Um,
Yeah.
he's just an asshole. Like
Like
I
he
would, if I ever cross paths with him, like I wouldn't even. I don't think
yeah.
I would look at him twice.
It's really interesting because I know guys who are just like calm all the time, but they're like manipulating and gaslighting you like crazy.
Hmm.
But they're the calm ones, so they seem sane and you seem crazy, which is kind of what happened with him and Lydia, where Lydia's screaming at the top of her lungs and super emotional, and he's sitting there super calm. But like he knows he flipped the switch. He know he light the fuse.
Hmm. It's almost like sociopathic, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
it. I don't know if he actually is, but it's
Ooh.
yeah.
You have to read this book. I have this book. It's called The Sociopath Next Door. And this lady did a lot of research on sociopaths and stuff like that, right? Now, sociopaths are not psychopaths. They're very different. They're
Hmm.
basically people who cannot empathize with you.
Hmm.
They lack empathy. And they're saying, like, you don't realize how common people are, like sociopaths are. They're so common. There's like 1 in 8 people are actual
So
sociopaths.
wild.
It's something crazy, and majority of them are very, very successful. They're like CEOs and presidents, and
Okay, so
like
maybe Uche is a sociopath.
yeah. So like it's not that far out. If those numbers are right, it's not that far off. That's
Hmm.
pretty crazy. I highly recommend this book. It's called The Sociopath Next Door.
Okay.
I tell every girl who's dated a sociopath to read this book, and they read this and they're like, this is word for word what happened to me. This is like a Bible. This is like going like opening a book and like reading like your future and like what happened. It's just crazy. I
It's kind of
highly
like they
recommend the
were
book.
in your mind. Put it in the book, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. They're like they might as well be like in my life right now. It's an amazing book. It's really really cool.
yeah.
And both guys and women have to deal with sociopaths. Trust me,
I mean,
it's
if
pretty
one in
good.
8 people is a sociopath, like that's literally like everybody.
Hold on, let me look. Let me. I feel like hold on. I want to make sure that's the right number. So go the
I'm
sociopath
putting this on my
next
Goodreads list.
door. One in. Let's see. What was it? One in what? Where is it? What are the characters?
1 in 25.
1 in 25. Okay, not 8. 1 in 25. That's still a crazy number.
It's a lot
One in 25. That's like if you were in a classroom, one of those people is a sociopath.
for sure.
That's crazy. All
Think
right.
about like your friend group too. Let's say you're like not immediate, but like the next level of friend group. Like that's at least one person is a sociopath in that group.
Oh yeah, time and time again, that's been proven to be true. And it's always like when two of my friends end up dating each other, and then you're like,
Oh
and they break up, and then
no.
you're like, oh, okay, that one, well, okay, I guess that was the 1 out of 25. Oh man, okay, yeah, man, Uche is not looking good. He didn't even show up. They invited him, and he was like, nope.
He knew he was gonna get his ass handed to him. He like doesn't want to make himself look ugly, but he'll go up on all of those podcasts. He'll write articles. He'll go on lives. He'll talk shit about everybody, but won't do it in front of anybody's face. Like
Yep.
he's such a little shit.
Little coward, little coward, and it's really funny because Izzy was like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't like him either." And then Milton was like, "Yeah, he texted in the group chat, but I just ignore it." So like they're in a group chat, and he's just leaving him on scene constantly.
I mean, like Milton's long diatribe to Aaliyah about how Uche wasn't his friend, like we didn't need that.
Yeah,
Appreciated it, but we didn't need it. And like I almost felt like he was trying to be like, Aaliyah, it's not that big of a deal. He's an asshole in
yeah,
so many words. And like that's fine, but also like you don't know what she experienced either, whether or not you like the dude. Like give
yeah.
her the time. Allow her to feel validated in some way, shape, or form.
True, true. Um, Now we got Mr. Captain America, red, white, and blue. Where was he on January 6th?
Mm.
JP and JP and Taylor kind of have it out, and he apologizes to Taylor, which is great. But she also holds him accountable, and she wouldn't let him get away with saying like, "Oh, this makeup comment was taken out of proportion." This stuff like, no, you were being a little sketchy there. You just basically wasn't really into her, and that's what he said. He was like, it was off-putting, which is the rough word to use. Like, I met somebody and my first reaction is, oh, this is off-putting.
Like, then why did you even propose? He's just socially awkward. Like, he
He
is
is
just
very
so
awkward.
socially awkward. When Vanessa asked him, like, if he would hit on someone like Taylor, and he was like, no, because I don't hit on people. Like, my friends basically introduced me to him. I'm like, oh no. That's no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
okay.
Like, the makeup thing is just weird. Like, you do understand she will be not wearing makeup most of the time she's with you, right? Like, she's not gonna be in makeup 24/7. It'll
Yeah.
be okay, bro.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Oh man. Yeah, that was really really weird. Uh,
He's a weird dude.
yeah, yeah. I
But
had,
I do appreciate, I will say, I do appreciate how Taylor held him accountable and like, girl
yeah,
slayed. She looked
yeah.
great.
She
She
looked
like held her
great.
poise. She called him out. She was like, she forgave him. He apologized.
Yup.
Like all of these wonderful things. So like, I will 100% give it up to Taylor.
Yo, Taylor was killing it, man. She had that gold dress on. Her
Mm-hmm.
makeup looked amazing. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know what his problem is,
Mm-hmm.
but it looked great. But yeah, basically that was it for them. They kind of hashed it out. They forgave each other, and they're just good now. So I guess I don't think they're being friends anytime soon, but at least they can both move on.
Well, JP said he had moved on. He has like a
Yeah.
year-long girlfriend, which I'm like, how if you don't talk to girls? Like, like
how do you
make it
how do
make
you
sense.
Yeah, a lot of them have a new relationship. I think Chris had somebody new, Johnny had somebody new,
Mhm.
Izzy has somebody new, Stacy has somebody new. They all just like
Potentially, because no comment.
potentially. Yeah, yeah, she said potentially. Knowing Stacy, she'll self sabotage sooner or later.
Aaliyah had somebody new.
Aaliyah has somebody new. Yeah, a lot of them are doing well for themselves. So good
As
for
long as
them.
they're taking care of themselves,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. And Aaliyah and Lydia are not friends, and they don't plan to be. So that relationship was not going to be repaired, even though they don't care for Uche. There is a speculation that Lydia and Uche did both know that they were going to be on the show.
hmm
Apparently, they were like, they made some comments. She said it was only a 2-minute conversation, which I'm just like, all right, bullshit. And like, I feel like Aaliyah is probably right when she says, yeah, there's more to the eye than
for
that.
sure. And I think that there's a lot of stuff. So apparently, Aaliyah and Lydia had a conversation um, prior to the reunion or during filming. Sorry, there's a bug. During filming, where they like talked to each other and they hashed it out, and they still didn't end on good terms.
Yeah.
But also, Aaliyah was saying in a podcast that she had done, or maybe it was a conversation that she had had that I recently saw that a lot of her story was also like highly misrepresented or highly edited to where a lot of the things that actually did happen were
Mm.
completely cut out. And so moving into the reunion, she chose like not to push certain topics when she was asking Lydia questions and trying to get Lydia to like answer her. She chose not to continue pushing Lydia because she knew that it would just get like cut in Lydia's favor. She
Yeah,
was more of a central story than Aaliyah was.
that was smart. I think Lydia went with the whole I'm not a bad person. I just can't read the room kind of like excuse. Like I just couldn't read the room. It's like, oh.
um, One of the fashion blogs that, or like someone posted something that said that Lydia's dress made her look like Elvira, and I was just like, yes, very much so. Like, and
Very
not
true.
just in terms of looks, but like also adhering to energy and like vibes. Like,
Yeah.
definitely major Elvira, like out sabotage you type
Yeah.
vibes.
Also, how about Uche sending a text to both Lydia and Aaliyah right when the show was starting, and it's the same exact text?
Copy paste.
Copy and paste.
Copy
Oh man,
paste. I mean, it's like Vanessa said, at least he's efficient.
that's true. That's true. It is efficient. He might as well just put them in a group chat and just send it to them. Add Milton in there too.
Yeah, right? See who responds first.
I know.
Nobody.
They'll all leave them on red. Oh man, that's good. Well, that's the end of Love Is Blind, and I don't know when the next one is starting. I don't know if we'll keep the next one. Jazz is pretty adamant about not supporting Love Is Blind anymore, so we may not do Love Is Blind
I mean,
next season. So we'll see, man. We'll see how these lawsuits shake out, and if they apologize and they make things right, maybe. If not, we may not be doing Love Is Blind anymore. We might just be taking a stance and being, hey, if they're treating people that awfully, we don't want to really support
for sure.
the show. So we'll
For
see how it
sure.
goes. Hopefully, I don't know when the next season is coming, but hopefully we'll have enough time to figure out what's going on. And then yeah, but at least we finished this season off.
Thank God.
So the people with OCD that needed to finish this episode, or else they would have gone crazy. We finished it for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed our podcast more than you enjoyed the show. Christina, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great having you. What else are you watching? We want to have you back for some reason. We got to
Um,
steal you from a dome and get you on some more of our podcasts.
um, I'm. What am I watching? I just finished The Ultimatum season 2.
Okay.
Um, Also wild. Yeah, I mean, Great British Bake Off, which is the best.
Great British Bake Off sounds amazing, but I don't know if we can make a podcast out of
You
that. I
can't.
don't.
You can't. It's like way too slow. And like all
Yeah,
we would talk about is like cake and cookie and bread designs. And like that's
yeah,
like
I know.
not super engaging.
All right.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll figure
We'll
it
keep
out.
in touch. We'll keep in touch. We'll figure it out. If something new comes along and we can get you on it, we'll have you on. It was a pleasure having you on. Uh, give our love to Adome, and we'll probably have him back on soon for Loki or whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
But thanks again, and until next time, guys. Salaam, nerds.
Thanks for having me. Bye.